and settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Just try and get your bearings. Bring your mind to the same place your body is. So bring your attention down to the soles of the feet and just feel the sensations there. Feel the weight, maybe the texture of whatever is around your foot. Maybe feel the sensations at the top of the foot. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap. And align your shoulders with your hips. And also just feel the weight of your pelvis in the chair. So you're just feeling nice and solid. So you've aligned your shoulders with your hips, now align your ears with your shoulders, and imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just lengthen your spine. And also put a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Your chin might be slightly down, but not too far down. And then just go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. Just see what happens to your face when you relax your scalp. Just feel if there's any sensation also at the crown of the head. Just notice what that is for you. And then just relax your face, your forehead and eyes and nose and cheeks and mouth, the back of the tongue, the jaw, and the back of the head. Just release any tension in your shoulders. Relax the throat and your chest and your belly and all of your limbs. And then bring your attention to your breath as you inhale and exhale. Notice the sensations of the air now as you breathing in and out. Around the nostrils and the chest cavity and the abdomen. And just be aware of any potential distractions. Could be sound, could be notifications floating across your screen or tapping your wrist, your watch. Just, try and do the best you can to avoid some of the distractions that you know are likely, like the phone, maybe a pet, something. But things like sound that from outside, for example, or a bird or traffic or someone knocking on the door, someone walking around your home. Some of these things we can't avoid. So just see if you can allow it all to be there. Trying not to follow with the mind. Trying not to investigate. And then just check in with your mind this morning. this afternoon, depending on your time zone. Just see where you're at. And just remember that's okay. Just try and meet yourself. Try and meet your own energy where you're at this morning, this afternoon. And try not to judge what's going on in your mind. Just allow it to be there, to arise and abide. And then just let some of those thoughts dissolve. So we are doing an equanimity meditation this morning, so we'll do our friend, enemy, and stranger shortly. So just think that we'll just a little motivation. Just think you'll do this. We're doing this meditation for all these people of our life, for all the sentient beings. And so we can become enlightened gradually, slowly, step by step, so we can help others. So, in some of the work I do, I see a lot of change in relationships. Sometimes that people we are close to become almost impossible to communicate with. Others who we couldn't bear the sight of are now dear friends. So people change, thoughts change, feelings change, situations change. And the changes that make us see a friend as an enemy can occur from 1 minute to the next, 1 year to the next, and 1 lifetime to the next. And the reasons we see a person as a friend or an enemy or a stranger are not really solid. But holding on to these as if they were prevents us from seeing things as they really are. So now we're talking about a little bit of emptiness there, but just seeing reality. And this makes it very difficult for us to deal with change when it occurs. So we all have a little difficulty with impermanence. On the one hand, we are very grateful for it when we're in a bad situation. We're glad things change. But when things are good and beautiful and happy and delightful and things change, then we're not so happy with that. So this meditation, we examine our attitudes and our feelings towards other people, so we can recognize where we can be mistaken. Then we can just gradually, come to a state of equanimity, where our mind is more balanced and less under the control of attachment to the ones we love and aversion towards the ones we don't like and indifference towards strangers. So here's our friend, our enemy, and our stranger. So this meditation on equanimity is the very first step in developing bodhicitta. And it comes way down the end of the study in the Tibetan Buddhist philosophical teachings. The Lamrim, light on the path to enlightenment. And it's down there because it's sort of at the end because it's quite difficult practice. So we'll just dive into it a little bit and you'll find out. So imagine in the space in front of you, you've got 3 people. Someone you like, someone you really love. Just see that person's face. And then there's a person you dislike or you have aversion for. And then a stranger. So this could be someone you've recently passed in a store, or maybe you looked in your rear vision mirror and you saw a couple of people sitting in the car behind you. You're never going to see them again, likely, because particularly if you're on a freeway, highway. So just to keep in mind this image of the friend, the enemy, and the stranger throughout the meditation. So first of all, focus on your friend, your loved one. Why do you like this person? See if you can recognize that your reasons are mainly because of what they might do for you. And you might be immediately thinking, oh, no, it's because we love each other. But why? Apart from the karmic energetic connection. So think of all the things they do for you. Is this a good reason for liking someone and holding them dear? And then look at the person you don't like much. And really try and honestly examine your reasons for feeling that way. And check maybe if your ego is involved at all. I mean, the person may have harmed you, or they may behave in ways that you find unacceptable. And are those reasons for disliking someone or treating them badly or wishing them harm? And then look at the person you're feeling different to. Is your ego involved here as well? Is it because the person has neither helped nor harmed you? And also think about whether you would regard these relationships as permanent. Do you believe that you're always going to get along with your friend? That you will never get along with your enemy? And that you're always going to be distant from that stranger? So recall relationships in the past that have changed. So that friend you hold really dear right now, they may have been living in the same area as you for years, but somehow you only just met them a few years ago, and then now they're your best friend. Perhaps the one you don't like, maybe they were a friend once before. So just think about relationships you had in the past that changed. So now imagine your friend doing something that might hurt you, or you feel, or they say something that's hurtful, or they do something you don't find acceptable. And would your feelings towards that person change? So recall that this person wasn't your friend before you became acquainted, and could easily, very easily, cease to be your friend in the future. So we think that maybe there's no sound reason for feeling this kind of kind and loving towards the friend only in this moment. Relationships have changed in the past and will continue to change. And today's friend can become tomorrow's enemy. I think, many people, the older you get, maybe you have experienced things like that. So now think about the one you don't like. Imagine that person doing something kind or helpful, such as, they praise you for something you did, or perhaps your car is broken down. Maybe you're in a snowbank somewhere. You're off the road. Your phone is out of range. It's cold. And you're not sure how you're going to get out of this situation. And then all of a sudden, the one you don't like turns up and helps you. So look carefully at your feelings for this person. Are they softening now? So you can learn to feel warmly towards your enemy. So this has happened before, will happen again. So why do you hold so strongly to the conception that this person is a definite enemy? And the stranger. So this relationship can go either way. But, given that we're trying to develop more positive feelings for others, imagine the stranger doing something helpful. So giving you the right directions, or maybe offering to help you carry your groceries to the car if you're struggling. Or they return your wallet with everything still inside. And how would this affect your feelings towards this person? And also, just going back to the one you don't like, these people are your real teachers. And the reason is because they're showing you your mind. If you didn't have seeds of anger and dislike and this kind of thing in your mind, you wouldn't have that emotion for that person. So they're showing you your mind. So this way you can develop a sense of gratitude towards that person. They're your real teachers. They're the ones that hold the mirror up to your face. So if you are able to accept this existence of past and future lifetimes, consider the idea, perhaps, you've known these people before in other lifetimes, but in very different relationships. Consider the friend of this lifetime may have been your enemy in another, and your present enemy may have been someone very dear to you, a parent or sibling or close friend. And the stranger could have been either friend or enemy. And just see how this affects your feelings towards these three people. So try to understand that these relationships are not permanent, that a loved one can become an enemy. This is why people end up in divorce courts and with lawyers and all this kind of thing. Their feelings towards each other change. Stranger can become either friend or enemy. Enemy can become dear friend. So also, no one is a friend or an enemy or a stranger from their own side, independently. Rather, they become this way in dependence on how our mind labels them. So someone you regard as a friend is seen by others as an enemy. And there are people who love the person you regard as an enemy. So I teach at the YMCA meditation and a form of Qigong called Tai Chi Chuan. And one person came up to me and talk to me about a person I care about very deeply, saying that, oh, no, I would never do a class with that person. And I was so surprised. And then think of the person you don't like very much. They might have a family who just adore them, think they're funny, and, they're just part of their family. They're the brother. So it's really, kind of unwise to cling to these three types of people as if they were permanent and independently existing, because they're seen differently by different people. So then also remember, it's helpful to think about everybody wanting to be happy. So there's three ways we're all equal. We want to be happy. We don't want problems and we don't want pain. So think about this. Your friend, enemy, and stranger all want happiness just as much as you do. And just like you, just like all of us, do not want to experience even the smallest problem. And everyone, yourself and others, deserve to be happy and peaceful and free from all suffering. So really try to feel this. And so another way that everyone is equal is that we all have this potential to free our minds from all negativities and to develop ourselves to the fullest and achieve the ultimate clarity and compassion, wisdom, creativity, beautiful mind. So according to Buddhist philosophy, everyone can and will become enlightened one day. So these differences that we see in people are superficial. Even to the point of, based on culture, color, religion. The type of food they like to eat. And these are based on mistaken and narrow, self-centered viewpoints. So if our thoughts and feelings were more in line with reality, we would see that everyone equally deserves our care and our compassion. That is a really hard one to come to. This is why now you see this particular teaching is right down the end of the lamb rim. So none of this means that we shouldn't discriminate. On a practical level, it's necessary. We need to use our wisdom when we're dealing with other human beings and any sentient being really, So naturally, we're going to feel closer to some people. We have a karmic connection with them, of course. And we are wise to keep our distance from other people. This is not a contradiction. The point of the meditation is to develop equal concern and equal regard for everyone, whether they help or harm us at this point in time. And to see that our present discrimination is based on arbitrary, mistaken, and very changeable labels. So just think about that for a moment. Allow, for some of you, this may be the first time you've heard something like this. You might be curious, so just investigate it. Think about how it's landing. You don't have to invite the enemy home for dinner, the person that's harmed you. It doesn't stop you from having the same level of concern for that person as you do for the loved one or for the stranger. So as you allow all of those words, thoughts, ideas to settle into your system, just bring your attention back to your breath. So now under closed eyelids, angle your eyes down about 45 degrees. And bring your attention down to your feet again. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap, your sits bones in the chair. Just bring your mind back to the same place your body is. And as you're moving about your day, just notice the people around you. See what category they fall into in your own mind, because they probably have already. Just bring your awareness to it. Shine a light on where you are putting these people in your mind. Remembering they're all equal. Want to be happy, don't want to suffer, and have this amazing capacity. So just crack your eyes open just a little bit to allow some light in. And then just come back. Don't run around too fast or leap into your car. Have some water. And have a beautiful day. All right. Thank you, Mary, for doing that. Lots of love, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I will see some of you tonight. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.